Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a really interesting unboxing to share with you guys. I have not purchased a Chris Reeve knife in a very, very long time. You guys have not seen this model on my channel for years. It is one of the most iconic, one of the most evergreen knives that exists in our community. This was created obviously by the father of the frame lock. If you didn't know, all titanium frame locks were originally, the original design came from Chris Reeve. They used to call it the Reeve Integral Lock, and we just call it titanium frame lock, right? But anyways, this model is definitely the model that sort of, made Chris Reeve knives famous. And I truthfully don't know the history, the entire history of this knife, but I know that of all of the great high-end production or mid-tech American knife makers, the more modern ones, right? Of all of those big famous knives, right, the ones specifically within the Holy Trinity, this particular model has always interested me the least. This knife is a good knife, right? There's nothing wrong with it. It's a good tool, right? But it's always spoke to me the least, and I've always been a little more critical of this one. I thought to myself, if a version of this knife ever comes along that truly speaks to me, then I will seek to acquire it. But I doubt that that day will ever come. But that day has clearly come. So anyways, long dramatic intro. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Make sure to turn on your notifications for my channel. This is a Blade HQ exclusive. Really shocked to see this. I had no idea that they were doing this, but it really spoke to me. So what do we have here? All of this stuff. Yes, the usual, very familiar. I've unboxed many Chris Reeve knives. Only currently own one other. So what did I end up with here? The big, long, it's basically a chamois, right? This is like a towel. Here it is. Oh, God. It really is just absolutely perfect. If, many would describe, anticlimactic, I think that many people would describe that. For some reason, the most appealing version of the Sebenza to me was the original in carbon fiber with the original scale. Obviously, the shape and position of the scale have changed over the years, but I always thought, what a classic look. That classic with the blue piece here, the pin in there, and then the blue standoff and the single blue lug. That is such a classic look with the flat, kind of shiny carbon fiber, which is truthfully something that it's not exactly the same as like the really cheap stuff, but it's something that I have criticized in the past. But because of the very first time, there's something about the first time that you see something and you associate a specific and a certain emotional reaction with that thing the first time. I remember seeing my first carbon fiber Sebenza. It was the 21 way back in the day. However, 12, 13, maybe. Actually, I probably saw the first one for me was probably 15 years ago. I was like, wow, that's a good looking knife, right? Let's go ahead and deploy it. Okay, these are not nearly as stiff as I remember them. I don't know if this is the new, this certainly does appear to be more shiny than I remember. But I don't remember. I know these are hollow ground. This was the first knife that introduced me to that concept, however many, 15, 16 years ago. I didn't understand. I learned about what a hollow ground was actually because of the Chris Reeve Sebenza. So this is the new 31, and honestly, I can't remember what steel this is. Oh, it's in Magna Cut, right? So this is highly regarded. If you're new, if you're new to knives, there are diehard, just like there's diehard Buck 110 guys and whatever. There's Gerber paraframe guys, there's Benchmade bug out guys, and they all swear that their knife is the absolute best ever made. The Sebenza crew, they are, I would argue the Sebenza guys are the most hardcore about insisting that no knife has ever been or will ever be as good as the Sebenza. Now, personally, right off the bat, something I've always said, the shape of the thumb stud, I don't think is ideal. This also runs on huge phosphor bronze washers, which does make it really good, and like it makes it really versatile in a number of environments, right? The phosphor bronze washers are self-lubricating, and arguably it has the best frame lock. It has the frame lock from the guy who invented the frame lock. And I don't think Sebenzas are known for, lock failure under normal circumstances, right? This has that, they mash like a big ball. It's like a huge, it's the detent ball, but the detent ball is also the surface, like what actually interacts with the steel lock face. So it's a lock bar insert, but not anything like a normal lock bar insert. It's completely different, and this is different from how they used to do it. They used to just carbonize the titanium lock face. This dramatically reduces the amount of wear and significantly increases the lock life over time. In fact, I think that there are even just the carbonized titanium lock face, the old late 90s versions of the Sebenza. I think those things are still floating around. And people are still using those things, and they haven't worn them out yet. So I don't know what it would take to actually wear this out. There are plenty of little tiny. I think a lot of my criticisms are still the same. This is not a knife that I dislike. It's just a knife that I find to be underwhelming versus like its direct competitors. But this specific version, I thought that's the Sebenza that I would like to own. If I'm going to get a Sebenza, this is the one. This to me looks like the most classic, even more classic than just the standard straightforward titanium. This to me is the most Sebenza that has ever Sebenza'd. The Blade HQ exclusive version of it. Now it's pretty darn expensive for sure. But if you like the look of this, then, Blade HQ has them. I know Chris Reeve is hitting that Magna Cut pretty high, and I think because of the way that they grind this blade, obviously the performance of this knife is going to be very high. The reason that people, love this knife is just its incredible, it is such a tool. I mean, it is a luxury tool. It's not it's not like you can, you can't spend less money and get the same performance. But it's something that is hailed as unbelievably consistently reliable, incredible precision, you could kind of, it's hard, like, I don't want to sit here and say like, yeah, there's no, like dollar for dollar, every last little bit of this knife is going towards utility and you're going to make use of every dollar that you put into the knife. I don't think so. I still think that, there are plenty of like good basic production American knives that hover around $150 that will perform essentially the same way. But this is just like the super, all the sauce went into this, and then there's a lot of other knife makers kind of do essentially a similar thing. But yeah, this is the most tool oriented, I guess, of the big three, especially right between Hinderer, Chris Reeve, and Mick Strider, and very specifically the three specific knives of the original Holy Trinity, the Strider SNG, the Hinderer XM18 3.5 inch. And the Sebenza, right now the Sebenza 31. This is probably the most tool-oriented, the most performance-oriented, the one that's going to perform the best for the, for like under normal circumstances, like non-specialized stuff. This is probably going to be the most straightforward. And it's got good specs. I mean, the length and the weight and all of that. It just doesn't have the fidget factor that we, as the modern knife audience, demand from our pocket knives, right? It is a very elegant and good-looking pocket knife. I would argue one of the most elegant looking. And I think I have flip-flopped and called. I think the standard titanium one, I stand by this. The all titanium one to me is just boring. It's just very boring, right? And you might say, well, that's what this is, but it's got carbon fiber. Like, you find it that much more interesting? Yes. And it's not the same across the board. It's because this is the first version of the Sebenza that I saw that I thought that looks pretty good. And then it just kind of imprinted in my head that that's what the best Sebenza looks like, right? There's a million different versions of it. My reasoning is flawed. My logic is flawed, and I'm aware of that. But this is the only time I've ever really wanted to have one of these. So I don't know. I should probably carry and use it. I can tell you that if I do that, I will absolutely take this off of it. I cannot stand this. But I won't cut it off. I'll pull this apart, and just pull it off of there. But one of the things that I really do love about the Sebenza and Chris Reeve knives in general is how stupidly easy they are to take apart and put back together, and how perfectly they go back together when you need to do that. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see if I decide to go ahead and pocket this one. I already have a review of a Sebenza up for after carrying and using it, but perhaps this will end up as a user, and then I can return and give an updated review on the Sebenza itself. But pretty cool. I'm honestly really happy with this. And it just looks spectacular. I really enjoy this. So check this one out at Blade HQ. Please, that card is gone again. There it is. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do of course have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like. So check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.